Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
11:02, and it is The Lock Shop, presented to you by Coolbet. We are live at Capilano Boston Pizza. We will be here at high noon for the oil stream. Tommy Gazzola will be sliding down and joining me as well. So if you're in the area or you're looking to go out, maybe grab some buddies, come down for lunch, Capilano Boston Pizza. Swing on by, say hi. They got their new the new menu out. The new, look at this, it's funny. It says fa la 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 flavors, which I mean, I love it. I love funny things like that. They've got the Seasons Eatings, a celebration of the new favorites, the new cranberry brie dip, the new braised beef mac and cheese. I might try that a little bit later on. They got the tour of Italy with the different pastas, and then the chicken, and then the rib and wing duo, which if you can see here, that's ribs and it's wings and it's fries actually, which almost seems unnecessary. But anyway, if you're looking for lunch today, swing on by Boston Pizza, Capilano. We will be here until 1 o'clock today. Rob from the Gross is Dusty jukebox update. I don't know. I'm looking around. I don't know if I see one. It might be right behind me here. No, I don't know. I don't know if there's a jukebox here. I'll get to the bottom of it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say no, probably. They got some slots, though. If you want to come hit the slots, you can certainly do that. All right, so let's see here. If you're over in the Nasty Chat, hit us up. Jake, if you're there, can you tell me who won the poker tournament last night? I went out in 18th, and I was angry, as per usual, and I decided to go to bed. So I didn't even see the final. I didn't even see who won it. So let me know who won it. If somebody else knows who won it, let me know. We'd like to pass along some kudos there. Huss will be joining me for the Lock Shop today. He should be connecting shortly. Pat Gregoire is going to pop by as well. He'll be here around 11:30 today. Lock Shop yesterday was, the poker tournament last night was interesting because I started poorly. Like I couldn't get anything going. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try to go all in a few times. And if I burn out, I'll just rebuy back in. So I'm at a table with Tommy, and Gazzola was on fire. The first 2 or 3 hands when I was still like, oh, I'm going to try to build it up early. He crushed me, broke my heart 3 times. And then I went all in and I split a pot. And I was like, damn it. I was trying to go all in so I could rebuy. And then I did go all in. I burnt out. I rebought back in. And I went on a nice little run, finished 18th in the tournament. So second opportunities. It's what life's all about. And managed to do okay last night. I don't know who won it, though. Kyle says he finished 5th. Hambone went 16th, so you lasted a little bit longer than I did. Spency 5 cents, good playing with you, buddy. There was a lot of good players at the tables last night. It was a lot of fun. But let's find out who won this thing. Huss is going to when Huss is ready, you can bring him over, Trev, and we'll bring in Huss. There he is. Huss, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I know who won.
Who?
Once again, the Peg representing.
No.
Shout out Nick Lyman. Top Lane Media hit a weird. I was wondering. He had hit me up and said, "Oh man, let me know when you guys are doing this." He missed the last one.
This was his first one.
This was his first one, yeah. And he does a bunch of Jets content here, and so I sent him a DM yesterday. I said, "Hey, by the way, we got a tourney tonight. Get in if you want." He's like, "Perfect. I got nothing going on tonight." And then I don't know. I had another. I mean, usually with these tournaments, you're going out in miserable and horrible fashion. That happened to me last night. And then I don't know. I was up reading some stuff on the net. It was relatively late, and I got a DM from him or a tweet from him saying, "Congratulations, you have won."
Wow.
So, nicely done to Nick. A very impressive performance last night.
Congratulations. First timer. Induced Comics in the chat over there. He's the guy who knocked me out last night. And I was up to about 37,000 at one point. I was in 4th. Things are going pretty good. And then, my first time having a big stack in the tournament and then being at a table where eventually other guys had big stacks too. And some of them were just so aggressive. I just sort of got whittled down to about 20K. And then I think I had 19,000. I had some good cards when I first rebought back in, and I managed to build up a stack. And then I was on a little bit. I was cold, and I got a king 9 heart, like suited hearts, and I was like, you know what? I haven't been getting much. King 9 suited, not bad. So I went all in. Induced Comics. Actually, Induced Comics went all in, and he was at like 63K, so I would have doubled up. And I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to pull the trigger on this. So I flipped over King 9, and he had pocket queens. So I had the king. I was like, okay, come on. And then his queens held up. And I went out. Pre-flop, yeah. Pre-flop. He had the pocket queens, and I went king 9.
That's a wild, wild hand to put your entire stack in on. But, I mean, king 9?
King 9 suited. I mean, there's a straight there as well. There's a flush play. I had the king was higher than the queen, so if I hit a king, I beat him.
Well, considering last time I got knocked out by 3-4, I mean, anything is possible in the world of
Wait,
poker.
last night you got knocked out by 3-4?
No, last night was the
time.
worst. I was down to about, I made one really bad move where I made a very aggressive bet and then got 2 guys came over the top on me, and I knew I was screwed and I had to cut my losses. So I doubled up once, but I was still at like 7 or 8 thou when most people were in the high teens or 20s. And I realized I needed to make something happen, but I was sort of getting whittled down, and I was on the big blind. So I was in, we checked around again, and I had queen 3, and I think it came up jack 8, 9, and the final card was a 10. So I had the queen. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, at this point in my situation, I'm going to put it in. And Joey Johnson, if you're out there.
Joey, I know the name. I know the name.
He gets the bounty on my head because he had queen king. And it was the worst possible scenario for that. I mean, hopefully something else just didn't come up and I'm just out and I live to play another day. But
you know who got the bounty on my head last night? Tom Gazzola.
Come on.
Tommy got the bounty on my head. He was just on fire. Like when I started, I had some good hands, and Tommy just had better hands. Like he was up
at the top of that list.
Yeah, right away. He took like 7,000 chips off me in like the first 3 hands. I was just like, oh God, like it was a train wreck. So then he basically whittles me right down, and I'm sitting there, and I had a few chips left, and then I was out, but I still had the window up, I think, of that table, and I started playing on the other table, and I saw Tommy catch a straight on somebody on the river, and Tommy's hand, he was playing an unsuited 5-6. I was like, were you playing an unsuited 5-6 and rode it all the way out to the river with nothing and then caught like a 7 or something? He goes, yeah, just worked. I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe I got smoked by that guy a few times. Like it was, but once again, it was a lot of fun. I do apologize for not streaming. I had gone and I got my cookies and everything, and I was ready to stream. And I did not get a good nap yesterday. I slept for like probably 25 minutes. And when I sat down at the computer to fire it up, I was just like, I think my body was just like, not tonight, man. Like you just can't go for, I would have got to go. I got knocked out at like 10:30. So it would have been 2.5 hours solo streaming. I was just like, no, I'm going to be responsible. So, but in the next one we do 100% stream from start to finish because I'll be well rested by then. So, but a lot of fun, Huss. Like it was a great time.
Oh my God. So much fun. We'll do another one next month at some point. We'll let you know the date, circle it up. Couple other funny things. Second place finisher in the last tournament, Randy, who has always been Randy D in our chat. That's his YouTube name. After what happened last tournament, he has been rechristened to Randy River, which is just the best nickname. The best nickname. He was in there. But yes, congratulations to Nick. Big win.
Okay, so what is the WA, like what is the Winnipeg? Like you guys haven't won all 4, have you?
No. Okay. No, we've had
we had Pitter's Pancakes, I think, won last time.
Yeah, Eagle Eyes WST won, I think, the second one.
Okay.
And
Remo finished second in the first one.
Yeah, Remo finished second in the first one. One of our guys won the third one, and then Randy was second in the last one, and I think it was an EST that won. So it's 2-2 right now. Basically, if we're gonna look at just
that's a rubber match. That's a rubber match coming down the fight.
Congratulations to Joey and Gazzola for getting the bounties. And
Joey's
Nick,
aggressive, man. I've been at his table a few times in the 4 tournaments. That guy is aggressive. He's always got a stack. Like it's, yeah.
And I'm just thinking, and I guess we'll find out deets from Pat, but that was nice. So Nick and whoever was the second place finisher, are going to get those. I'm going to tell Nick, I'm like, he's in that tournament because of my thoughtfulness to send him a DM. So if he wins that trip to Costa Rica, I'm going to be packing some Speedos.
Duck Dad is in the chat with the disrespect. He won one of the tournaments along the way already. Father Millard.
Yeah,
Father
okay.
Mallard.
That was the last one. Yeah, he beat Randy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Duck
right,
Dad, a champion. Nick, a champion. Eagle Eyes WST, and I can't remember who won the first one. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember as well. Anyway, a lot of fun. Looking forward to the next one for sure. We did have a little parlay last night in the National Hockey League. Montreal Canadiens. What they have, like 15 shots on goal, losing overtime. The Vancouver read was good, but
Vancouver read was great. Speaking of Duck Dad was the one that kind of told us to fade Utah, and I didn't mind that. I did not mind that. They were up 2-1 in the third, gave up one, and then dropped it in OT. And even worse, Dusty. So I had to do the play of the day.
Oh no.
I'm back on after somehow doing the last month of plays of the day, but that's another lock shop conversation.
Oh, I did do last week technically. Sorry.
Anyways,
I guess I could have done this week too. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just kidding. So I'm like, whatever. There's only 2 games. We've got them both on the parlay. I'll go with a goal score. And I'm like, okay, Cole Caulfield hasn't scored in 4 games. They got booed off the ice. Okay, maybe we'll roll with Cole Caulfield. But I was deciding between him and the return of Jake DeBrusk to Boston.
Oh,
and lo and behold, I go check the scores. The first thing that comes up, Jake DeBrusk. So I was kicking myself for that one. But the good news is that we've got Thanksgiving Day tomorrow with 3 games in the NFL, and we have a massive, massive slate in the National Hockey League, tonight.
Big time slate in the National Hockey League. That's where we'll start because Pat's going to pop by around 11:30, and we'll use him to dive into a lot of the football.
Sorry, apologies to Duck Dad. That was a Rod Z. That was a Rod Z tweet. Poor Duck Dad. Just taking scuds.
He's taking strays. I think that's the saying. He's taking strays. Yeah, Duck Dad's just taking strays, which is sorry, Duck Dad. Really sorry about that, man. We love you. Rod Z, you're dead to us.
Yeah, no.
For the Coyotes play last night. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm live at Boston Pizza. How did the Little Brown Jug? Didn't you have something at Boston Pizza? They were. Oh, I thought you had. Yeah, how'd that go?
It couldn't have been much better. I mean, there was absolutely zero room in the bar. The entire place was packed. The Jets won. We drank a ton of 1919s, which were on tap, which was nice to get that there at Boston Pizza. And it's funny you're at BP today because I'm sure you've already been perusing the holiday menu, which I
already went over it. Yeah,
I'm sure the same. So I think tomorrow for the Thanksgiving games, we're going to have a little delivery of the spicy, the spicy shrimp fettuccine, I believe.
Spicy shrimp fettuccine, and spicy garlic and chili shrimp with roasted red peppers, tomatoes, fettuccine, and a spicy marinara sauce finished with Parmesan and served with garlic toast.
That sounds amazing. And then, of course, the rib and wing combo, which is right in my wheel.
I was thinking that might be lunch today for me. Although I am intrigued by the braised beef mac and cheese. Anytime you put anything that's meaty in mac and cheese, I'm a big fan. So I might try that a little bit later on here today at Boston Pizza as well. All right, Huss, you said it. I mean, crazy day in the National Hockey League, especially for a Wednesday Thanksgiving week, obviously messing with the schedule a little bit. Usually Tuesdays and Thursdays are hammered. This week, Monday and Wednesday.
Tomorrow's dark.
Big time schedule. I've got some starting goalies.
Like tomorrow is a dark day.
Nothing, not even one game.
Even one game. Which,
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
And this is the thing. And I threw a message out to the fellas. I'm hoping Just because, sometimes it's tough to get updated odds on the trophy winners throughout the season because obviously everything's off the board when there's games. So I was really hoping we might. Like I had Matt Larkin on. Matt Larkin's coming up on WST today. I recorded it this morning. And he's got a piece that this is the most wide open Rocket Richard race that the NHL has had in a really long time. I mean, basically Austin Matthews has been winning it. Connor McDavid won it. Draisaitl, I think, would be the favorite right now. He's second in goals over the last 5 years, but has not won it. But then there's a whole bunch of other guys with nice starts right now. Of course, Matthews has been hurt. So I think it's pretty wide open. And I would love to see what the Hart Trophy numbers are right now. Because this is a time, and I don't want to tell the guys, but I want to see Connor Hellebuck on that list, and I want to bet it. And I want to bet it soon.
Okay.
Because usually you don't have goalies really be part of the conversation. But with what the Jets have done so far, his historic start to the year, and the fact that some of the usual suspects have either been hurt or had slower starts, I know there'll be some Winnipeg people that might want to jump on that too. So I'm very interested. I mean, I'm not promising it because I know it's crazy with the bookies because of the NFL action that's happening tomorrow. But if possible, we'll get into a couple of the markets if they're available and can kick that around tomorrow on the show.
It is funny that you brought that up because I was doing something in my basement yesterday, and I was like, man, I wonder what the odds would be on McDavid to win the Art Ross right now, right? Starting from behind again. What would that look like right now for Connor McDavid to win the Art Ross? So I'd love to get a number on that because the city of Edmonton would absolutely hammer it regardless of what it is.
Marty,
you think he's still the? Did you think? Let me just see and we'll get to some picks here, and then obviously Patty's going to hop on. And we will.
I bet. Okay, listen. Let's do a prediction right now if we get this.
Yeah, like McDavid is 28 points, is tied for 11th. I think he should still be the favorite.
Oh, I think he'll be the favorite. I think he'll be like minus. I think he'll be like minus 180.
Yeah, I was going to say minus.
He's only 7 points back. Now, McKinnon's tied with Nakash at the top for 35. So McKinnon's certainly right in the mix. Kaprizov, who's actually got 34 in only 20 games.
Kucherov's in there.
He's certainly, I think Rantanen and Reinhart are more likely to not win just because of listen, Reinhart, I doubt it. If Rantanen gets it, McKinnon's probably going to have a few more. And then, of course, you got Draisaitl, you got Cale Makar, Dylan Strome. Man, I picked Dylan Strome in the last round of my hockey pool, and he's 11th in the league in scoring right now. That guy has been. As far as goals go right now, while we're talking about this, just before we get to the games, Reinhart and Draisaitl with 16, Ovi with 15, but out, which really does suck.
Yeah.
Willie Nylander and Mikko Rantanen at 14. Kaprizov and our guy Kyle Connor at 13, along with Nico Hischier, along with Connor McMichael. And then a group at 12, including Nakash, Kucherov, Scheifele, Panarin, Larkin, Cole Caulfield, Braden Point, and Jack Roslovic. So we've basically got 17 players within 4 goals of each other.
That is fun.
That board will be amazing. And like Austin Matthews he's not even in the top 50 right now. Where's Matthews?
He's quite a ways back, I think. He had a slow start, and then he's been out for a while, right? So,
yeah, he's not even on the first 2 pages, unless I'm missing him somewhere. So if that is the case, Matthews might be the guy. I mean, like he did basically lap the field last year with 69. If he came back, got hot, and ran through that table, but I mean, the Matthews number might be big. And I tell you what, there'd probably be a bunch of Leaf fans that would jump on that anyway.
That's true. No, but Jake texted us, said Ev Dog is going to get the award markets ready to go for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So your wish comes
The
true.
man. You know what?
The wish comes true.
Coolbet has the best customer service, but they also have the best working with their crew service because every time we ask for something, the Ev Dog comes through.
He delivers
for people.
Yeah, so his name should be Delivers Dog.
And the other thing that well, Jake's coming on today, right?
No, Pat's coming on today. Jake's going to be on tomorrow with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into the other numbers. Jake and I have been talking offline about the number 1 overall pick, which is up right now for the NFL futures. So we'll touch on that with Patty when we come up. But yeah, I mean, let's get to these hockey games before Pat jumps on because this
and one more quick thing, and you guys can get this. I'm just to bring everybody in the loop. I had a meeting that I couldn't schedule at any other time except for 11 o'clock tomorrow. So I'm going to be out on Lock Shop tomorrow. So it'll be Huss and Jake. But the boys did say there's some 4 Nations futures up and available right now too. So that'll be something you guys can probably spend some time on tomorrow as well. But there's a ton in there. It's like to make the Team Canada roster, starting goalie of Team Canada must play in game 1, captain of Team Finland, captain of Team USA, captain of Team Canada. So yeah, there's a bunch of fun things that are already up as well.
Oh wow! I mean, this is just for the Winnipeg people because like we're obsessed right now with Morrissey and Scheifele. Okay, are they going to be I or not?
Morrissey's got to be on that back end, doesn't he?
So, but I mean, Matt Larkin just came on and said he was his last cut. So I don't know that WST and Jet fans, make sure you tune in today. It's going to be the first interview that we do around 1:30. RIP Matt Larkin's mentions. That's all I'm going to say when he comes in. I love the guy. He's great. And it's good that he came on and brought in dissenting viewpoints.
But what I love is that you pre-tape it, you know he's going to get torched.
Yeah.
It's just like, nice knowing you, Matt. Like,
yeah. No, but Morrissey is minus 333. Mark Stone is minus 333, and that's another guy that he had off just sort of based on his thing. Surprisingly, Stuart Skinner's minus 400.
Yeah, man, I don't understand. I mean, unless they know something. I don't know if Skinner's going to be on the team. We had Jamie McLennan on our show this morning. Noodles made an interesting case for Marc-Andre Fleury to be the number 3 guy. Ton of experience. I don't know who the other 2 guys would be. Actually, who did he say today? Noodles said he would go with Jordan Binnington, Darcy Kemper, and Marc-Andre Fleury. 3 Stanley Cup champion goaltenders.
Wow. What about Aiden Hill?
He didn't. He mentioned him, but he said his 3 would be those 3 guys.
Well, I mean, listen, Noodles knows a thing or two about stopping pucks. Aiden Hill, minus 400. And Stuart Skinner minus 400. So those other guys are, I mean, if you like Noodles' picks, jump on it. We've got Stamkos at minus 250, Bedard minus 238. That he would have been a lock earlier this year. Scheifele is at minus 115. And Konechny's at minus 120. I think those are guys that would be in and around that spot. And then just for some plus money guys, Logan Thompson's plus 120. Nick Suzuki, who was on Larkin's team, I think plus 175. Verhaeghe plus 190. And then some interesting guys. Nuge is 2-1. Not sure whether that's Lafreniere is 2-1. I've seen him on a lot of lists.
I've seen him on a lot of lists. I'm surprised he's 2-1. Like, how's his number the same as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with the season that Nuge has had so far?
I'm maybe we'll put a little sprinkle down on Lafreniere. And then Binnington minus 135 to be the starting goalie for Team Canada in game 1. So anyways, there's some great stuff. We'll definitely talk about that tomorrow when Jake and I are getting into it. And they've even got like Team USA, some will or will not make the team, some Sweden guys as well. So check it out. And by the way, the odds right now, Canada plus 125 to win, USA plus 175, Sweden 5-1, Finland 7-1. And if you just click on the NHL, You just look at the top, it goes NHL, AHL. Next thing is Four Nations face-off futures. And they got some great ones up there.
As far as the NHL tonight, I mean, we got 15 games, so I don't necessarily, I'll whip through the starting goalie sus and then we can break this thing down. 15 games on tap, 30 teams in action tonight. Markstrom likely for the New Jersey Devils. Binnington is unconfirmed for the Blues. Shesterkin will start for the Rangers tonight. Spencer Martin unconfirmed for the Hurricanes. Philip Gustafsson is starting for the Minnesota Wild. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is likely for the Sabres. It'll be Bobrovsky versus Anthony Stolarz in a big game between the Leafs and the struggling Florida Panthers. Merzlikins will start for the Blue Jackets. Caden Primo for the Habs. Charlie Lindgren for the Capitals going up against Andrei Vasilevsky and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Penguins are going to start Tristan Jarry. The Canucks going back-to-back. Shilov's listed as unconfirmed on this point. The Bruins back-to-back as well. Korpisalo listed as unconfirmed. Sorokin is confirmed for the New York Islanders. They went Varlamov in their last game. The Red Wings, Cam Talbot confirmed for Detroit. Vladar likely for the Calgary Flames. Kolosov for the Flyers. UC Saros is likely for the Preds. Casey DeSmith is confirmed for Dallas tonight. They're on the road in Chicago. Mrazek is unconfirmed at this point. Joey Decord is likely for Seattle. John Gibson unconfirmed at this point for the Ducks. Georgiev will start for Colorado. The Avs host the Golden Knights tonight. Aiden Hill's unconfirmed there. Jets and the Kings tonight. Riddick and Hellebuck both unconfirmed. And then Ullmark and Blackwood unconfirmed in that Ottawa-San Jose game. Officially the latest game on the schedule tonight. So, Huss, it's busy. But is there one or two games that jump off the page for you?
Well, obviously, I'm looking forward to this Jets-Kings game. Basically a pick 'em. Jets are -110. Kings are -108. We'll dive into that. I may have to put together a little WST parlay for that one tonight as well. I'll tell you what, and I'm not sure I'm ballsy enough to put this on the parlay, but you know what? One game I'm looking at is a nice, like a big underdog. St. Louis in New Jersey tonight. Obviously, we're talking about Four Nations, and Binnington's looking to make sure that he's on the team. But they went into New York, thumped the Rangers in Montgomery's first game. They are in a situation where they're in a tough division. Obviously, Winnipeg's had this insane start. Minnesota's been incredible this year. You've got Dallas. You've got Colorado. They're in a spot where they absolutely have to go on a big run. And they seem to have a lot of juice in that game against the Rangers. I saw what they did afterwards with Montgomery talking about the first win. And this is a weird game, I think, for a lot of these American teams, knowing that tomorrow's American Thanksgiving. It'll be an off day. They're probably going to go rip it up after the game. Jersey's been awesome this year. I could absolutely see this be a little bit of a letdown game for New Jersey. So I won't put it up for the parlay, but I think I am going to put...
I mean, you make a pretty valid point here, though, buddy.
New coach bump.
Good case. We usually don't go plus 190, but you make a good case for it right now.
Some other games. I do like Minnesota, one of the best road teams in the league. They're -139 taking on Buffalo. Buffalo has just been so mid so far this year. And what did you say the goaltending matchup was for Calgary and Detroit? Wolf isn't playing?
It'll be it's they're unconfirmed. No, it's likely. Listed as likely Dan Vladar against Talbot. He's confirmed.
I kind of like Detroit in that spot too. Like Calgary had that great stretch. They lost to Ottawa in their last game. I'm kind of leaning Detroit in that one at -103. Vancouver playing on the second end of back-to-backs in Pittsburgh is a slight favorite. They'd normally be a much bigger favorite. Pittsburgh has just been brutal right now. But the other one I like, and I know the Florida burned us. They've lost 4 in a row. I think the Jets might have broke them last Tuesday. They haven't won since that loss. They've lost 4 in a row. But Tampa's rolling right now. I mean, they absolutely clobbered the Avalanche on Monday night. And without Ovechkin, like it's been really impressive what Washington has done. But do we think they're going to go in without Ovi and sweep in Florida? I don't.
No, that was my favorite play. I was waiting for you to throw it over. Tampa Bay minus 159 tonight. I think we got to have on the parlay. I think
Perfect.
yeah.
What else are you liking?
I mean, I would totally ride with you on the St. Louis play as well on a parlay. I mean, we don't need to because plus 190 you can play it on your own, but I got a lot of time for that. I don't know, where are you at on the Hurricanes against the Rangers right now? It's more of an anti-Rangers fade, and it's 189. You're not going to play it unless it's thrown into the parlay. But Carolina's been excellent. The Rangers, I don't know what's going on with the New York Rangers. There's some weird things coming out of New York.
There is. The one thing that makes me nervous about this is that is a veteran team. They're hearing everything. And Carolina is down to their third string goalie again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
that's a good point.
To me,
Shesterkin is starting for the New York Rangers. Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about the goaltending situation there in Carolina.
Put it this way. Okay, if you're totally in on St. Louis,
I am.
Why don't we? Do you like Minnesota and Buffalo?
Well, I was just looking at Minnesota Buffalo. Minnesota. Do we know Kaprizov's status for this game?
Well, he played against Winnipeg, so he should play tonight.
Yeah. So he should be back. I was looking at Buffalo's won 8 of their last 9, or 8 of what have they won? 7 of 9. But they beat San Jose, they beat Anaheim, they shut out the Kings. Prior to that, they lost to Philly. It's funny because I almost view the line as a little bit fishy. Because when you were talking, I was just like, wait a second, Minnesota's only minus 139 on the road against Buffalo, and Buffalo's been playing well lately. So, I like it. I just feel, are we getting suckered here on this minus 139?
You know what? I'm fine, and I hate the Wild so much too. Like, I don't want to be pulling for them. Any reason not to have them on the ticket, I am fine with that. We've got the Jets and Kings. Kings have been struggling lately. Jets have been looking good. Avalanche are home to Vegas. That is like Vegas. Vegas comes up with big wins. I don't know whether I like to throw that one on there. We've got Dallas and Chicago. That's certainly one.
Here's a suggestion. Dallas in regulation minus 137 against Chicago.
You do recall we picked Florida in regulation against Chicago last week.
Are we going to get screwed twice in 2 weeks by the Hawks? That moves the number from 238 to 137 for the Stars to take them in reg.
Yeah,
but it's not Ottinger, so
we'll see. It gets us to plus 717 as well.
Does it? Wow.
Yeah,
that's spicy.
The other option, Nashville at home to Philly, but that's such a big number for a team that's been so bad. And then, listen, Boston just can't score. But I don't trust the Islanders enough I think, to throw on it. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas and reg. Tampa Bay money line and the plus 190 St. Louis Blues tonight.
Oh, baby.
In Jersey.
It all starts there in New Jersey with the Blues. If they can hit it at plus 190, that would be great. Pete Greggy should be. Anyway, Jake, I know you're watching. That's what we're going with. Blues plus 190, Lightning on the money line, and Dallas in regulation at minus 137. And we'll get a boost on the plus 717, which is ridiculous as well. And you'll be able to find that in the combo cards at the top of the page over at Coolbet. If you've not yet signed up for an account at Coolbet, use the code LOCKSHOP when you do, and you'll get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to 200 smackaroos. Starting to fill up here a little bit at Boston Pizza for lunch, which is good. We'll be here for the oil stream today as well. P. Greggy's going to be popping by right away, and we're going to slide on over to the 3 games in the National Football League. One of them, the former team of Daniel Jones. What do you think of Jones going to the Vikings practice roster, Huss?
You know what? I think it's probably a pretty good spot for him to go. Like, if you're Daniel Jones, this isn't about money. It's about a good situation to be in. I don't know what the future is for Sammy Darts, but we know that JJ McCarthy is basically going to be the guy probably as soon as early next year. I mean, depending on his rehab from his knee injury. So, I mean, for him to go in and play for Kevin O'Connell, who has just been, I mean, I think he looks at what's happened to Sam Darnold here and goes, I want to be that guy. So, listen, I think it's a great spot for him to be in. As I said, he'll work there a little bit. This will be I think, get comfortable. And, if he sticks around beyond this season, I think Daniel Jones can be a really quality backup in this league. I mean, he has 100% at times. He certainly has great running ability and legs, if you want to maybe bring him in situationally at times. So yeah, no, I sort of like it. Wow, the Lions are down to 9.5. I thought this might be at 13.
Yeah, you thought it was going the other way. When you said that yesterday, I was a little hesitant. As a Lions fan, I got a bit of a bad, like not losing to the Bears, but maybe they make it more difficult than it should be. I don't know why. I mean, I was on the Lions on a pretty big number last week. I've been on them pretty big numbers throughout the year. I was wondering about the 10, and I was thinking when you said yesterday you thought it was going to move, I was like, man, I'm not going to bet against the Lions regardless, spread included. But I was like, man, if that number gets to 11 or 11.5, I might be tempted to put a little sprinkle on the Bears. Since they changed offensive coordinators, they actually look pretty good offensively. And if you're going to hang with the Detroit Lions, you got to look good offensively. So part of me thinks Chicago might be able to hang around a bit on this one. And maybe there's a late touchdown for a backdoor cover or something. So,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. How many points are the Bears going to have to score for it to be a single-digit game? Like the Lions.
Good question. I would say minimum 25. Yeah.
I'd say probably more like 30.
Yeah, possibly 30. I mean, the Lions might hang 40 on them. That's true.
Listen, I think they realized, I mean, they got embarrassed last year at home in the Thanksgiving Day game, if I recall correctly. So
all right, well, let's bring in Patty. Yeah. He can give us his thoughts on this one. I will fully admit this might just be, I don't know how to handle the Lions being a juggernaut. There's never been a thing in my life. I'm not Huss for the last 5 years. So, Patty, yeah, I'll say it. I'll just admit right now. I'll confess to you guys. I'm a little nervous about the Bears for some reason.
Oh, Dusty, just like many Lions fans, your Thanksgiving tradition, you get together with family and you have a beautiful meal. But before that beautiful meal, you see the Lions get stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey on Thanksgiving. But this is a good team. But unfortunately, though, with the Lions, even with this new era of Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, they are 3-0 straight up. So I could see the reluctance, but we're talking about the Bears, guys. Like, yeah, you're totally right. You are absolutely right. It is a much different looking offense with the new offensive coordinator, but this is a different Lions team. It's crazy to say, though, like we talk about their ineptitude and how much they have struggled in years past on this game. This is the biggest favorite that the Lions have ever been since 1968 when they were a 12-point favorite against the Eagles. So we're in territory that
my mom was 5 years old the last time the Lions were that big of, like, that's insane. But no, like, here's the other thing with Chicago. Their last two games, they lost to the Vikings by 3. They lost to Green Bay by 1. And these are the teams that we talk about probably going to make the second round of the playoffs in the division with the Detroit Lions. Like, they've played well against the other contenders in the conference, which, I mean, part of me thinks, like, things have been going too good for Detroit. Like, I feel like there's a bit of a letdown somewhat. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not betting the 9.5.
But we talk about this big number, and again, we'll go with the trends here on Thanksgiving. Favorites of 10 points on Thanksgiving are 9-0 against the spread since 2005. And they're 11-0 against the spread in the wild card era since 1990. The thing is, it's a big day. It's a big day for everyone. It's not just the Lions and the Bears and the Cowboys that always historically play on this great day. It's a big game. Also, it's a sleepy 12 o'clock start on the East. Like, it would be really believable for this Lions team. Like, I came into this show expecting me to come on here and say, it's the Lions and it's the Bears. This Lions team is so much better. This team, whenever people start to think, okay, they're due for a letdown spot, this is where they jump up and look even better. But the more I run through these numbers, the more I talk to you, Dusty, the more I think maybe it is. Maybe we should be, maybe we should be talking about the Bears covering it. But like, I'm reading these trends and I don't know, man. Like, I feel like sometimes you just gotta bet the better team. You gotta just bet the better team.
Us is just shaking his head. We're also forgetting about DeAndre Swift Thanksgiving revenge game. I mean, there's all these things I'm concerned about.
No, listen, they lost to the Packers last year on Thanksgiving at home. They are the best team in the NFC right now. Many people believe they're the best team in the NFL. They put up 50 burgers routinely on shitty teams. And I got to tell you, despite, I'll give Caleb Williams a lot of credit. I did watch a lot of the second half of that Bears-Vikings game.
He looks better, doesn't he?
Down at the corner. Listen, he was making some real solid throws. I like what I'm seeing. But to me, I just don't see the Bears having much success stopping the juggernaut that is the Lions offense. Like, I want to pick anytime touchdown scorers for like every guy on their team.
That might not be a bad idea, actually.
So, I mean, I think Gibbs is going to have a monster game, especially if Montgomery's a little limited.
He's got that little shoulder issue,
Goff's going to be going. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm shocked that this number has gone down to 9.5 right now. I'm kind of kicking myself because I bet it at 10 last night, thinking that the line was going to move the other way. And I still think people are going to look at this as we get closer and they're putting their bets in. And I would be shocked if there wasn't more action coming in Detroit. So I will just say, from my perspective, if you like Detroit and you're with me on this one, I would bet it now at 9.5, which is a significant change from 10. And get ready for points. I mean, the over in this game is 48.5. And my only concern with the over not hitting is that the Bears put up 10 or 13 points.
Yeah.
Because I have what's the team total for the Lions right now? Speaking of that, that's another thing that I might like.
You know what I'm doing here? I'm teasing this thing down to 2.5 and 41. Yeah. Taking the over and the Lions minus 2.5. Like that's yeah. I mean, I'll make that work in a bet builder.
Over 29.5 minus 111 as well. Lions put up 30 tomorrow on Thanksgiving.
The total's 48.5. I feel like I kind of like the over as well. I don't know what the trends are.
48 right now.
It's at 48. Yeah, I'm looking at 48. So
even better. Well, here's what I will say. I think now I was convinced. I flip-flopping like a pancake. It's hilarious. I look at one number. I look at this. I look at that. We want to talk about what we're seeing from this Lions team and how impressive the run that they have been on is. The last time that they were in this spot with this record, 1934. In the very next game, their 13th or 12th game of the season, or 13th game of the season, they lost to the Bears on Thanksgiving, 1916. So the vibes are now back off. I don't know if I want to go with this or not, but let's be honest. No, I just saw that tweet out there. I thought it was pretty funny, but the Bears we're not rolling money line with the Bears here. Heck,
no chance.
I'm not even rolling with it. I'm give me the lines, give me the better team. You're right. We should be really sinking our teeth into some props. I think Jameson Williams receiving yards. I don't know where his number is right now, but I think that's a play that I really like as well. I think maybe a Sam Laporta touchdown is something that I like as well. So let's use our heads here. Let's not think too much here, and let's go with the Lions.
I'm with you, and just during this conversation, I just added to the card for tomorrow the Lions over 29.5.
That's a good bet.
And Jahmyr Gibbs over 72.5 rushing yards.
What was Montgomery's number? I'm just curious. Did you see
he's off the board?
Is he off because of the injury right now? Yeah. I think he's going to play, but
as they say, the Gibbs touchdown number is minus 200, and Montgomery's not listed.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams is plus 138. The one guy I don't see is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Is he?
He was hurt too. Expected to play, I believe, but he missed practice earlier in the week. So, yeah. See, there's some looming injuries. Some guys banged up, boys.
No, I'm gonna flip back on the other side.
Yeah. We're not back on the Bears.
We're not doing this.
Patty's going to be on both by the end. He's going to have Lions minus 9.5, and he's on the Bears plus 9.5. He's just like, screw it, I'll win one way or the other.
Swift, by the way, if you are down with the a Swift touchdown for his return, plus 150. He is the lowest Bear on the board for the anytime touchdown score. What about Dallas and the
Patty, do you got something else?
I just had one more nugget here. I know we talked. I said like,
is it going to sway your opinion on who you're going to bet on?
No, it might. Who knows? Jameson Williams. I mentioned that over. It's at 48.5. He has gone over that total in 7 of 9 games this year, but in 5 of those games, he's gotten to 70 yards. He has soared over it. So the only thing that concerns me here is if we are right and the Lions just walk all over, we might not get to it. But the fact that it's gone 70 leads me to believe this total is way too low, right? Am I crazy here? I feel like I've also ate the cheese on a couple of these totals when it comes to receivers. I can't remember. It was 2 games ago we were talking about it, and it didn't even come close to the over. I hope I'm not in the same situation. I was bang on with Ladd McConkey. It took that last reception on that drive to get over. It was close, though. Same thing, though. I'm like, this should be 15 yards higher. Sure enough, the book was pretty close. We
got hit with that George Pickens theory, too.
That's what it was. The Pickens game. That's what it was.
So good in the Pickens. Yeah, it was just,
Yeah, that drove me nuts. But I think we need to move on here because if we spend a minute longer, I'm going to be betting the entire board in this game. And I'm not going to have any money for the last 2 games.
Well, we can spend that 1 minute on the Giants and Cowboys, then get to the Dolphins.
Hey, one thing just quickly on Jameson Williams. The catch total is 3.5. The over is plus 110. He can do that yardage total in 1 catch. Yep. I mean, he's a big hitter. So I'm with you, and I have just added that to the card as we've spoken as well. It's it's filling up. All right, the matchup we dreamed about in the offseason is here. Cooper Rush, Tommy DeVito, Thanksgiving.
Well, Tommy DeVito's questionable. Think about that.
That's awesome if you are a Giants bettor. Because that might mean we get Drew Lock, who
good point.
I don't even know. Well, actually, I know why they're playing Tommy DeVito because they're tanking, and there is a bunch of performance bonuses for Drew Lock based on how much he plays, and they're treating him like crap and putting him on the bench. I would love it if he was not able to go and Drew Lock played because. Yeah. Listen, I know they looked terrible last week and they got humiliated by the Bucs and there was talking about them quitting and whatnot. Everyone is watching this game. I'm expecting the Giants to be better. The Cowboys still are, CeeDee Lamb's questionable. I'm sure he'll play, but outside of him, they don't have any weapons. They've got an unbelievably mid quarterback. They've been horrible at home all year. I don't see the Cowboys blowing anybody out, even though they had that miracle win against Washington last week. So I think I am going to take the Giants plus 3.5 in this game. And I'll feel even better about that game if Tommy DeVito for some reason isn't playing.
Did you guys see Tommy DeVito's first half stat line? It was comical.
Well, the reason I laugh at this because you can give it to me in a sec, but I just I just went on Twitter and searched Tommy DeVito, and the first thing that popped up was like a meme, and it's Brian Dable showing Tommy DeVito that Malik Neighbors exists at halftime, and it was like a guy showing, and the guy was like, "Oh, okay." Like, but so that's funny that you brought up his first half because my God.
And I mean, Malik Neighbors, good Lord, like that guy already looks completely checked out. He's a rookie. He's a star. It is remarkable that, like, you know, you got to keep this guy engaged. You have to keep this guy engaged.
He said it himself. They didn't throw it to him until they were down 30-0.
Yeah. So DeVito had 5 passing attempts in that first half. Not one was in the direction of Malik Neighbors.
This is the latest. Here's Schefter. Tommy DeVito is not flying to Dallas with the Giants, and he didn't practice today.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, Schefter says not only is Tommy DeVito not flying to Dallas with the Giants, but he didn't practice today. So, I mean, I don't know how this guy plays. He's not even like
Drew Lock.
You might get your Drew Lock wish. You might get your Drew Lock wish.
Yeah, it's Drew Lock. It's Drew Lock time. The backpack celebration. Like, I still, to this day, whenever I see that video of him rapping to Young Jeezy, I still think to myself, maybe this guy has something. Maybe this guy's got that swag. And then I watch him play. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why
he was good last year for Seattle.
That one game in Seattle. Let's not forget that game in Seattle. That was an all-timer. That's where he had the backpack selling. And at the end of the day, it cannot be anything worse than what Danny Dimes was, and then obviously what Tommy DeVito was. Here's the first half offense. Couldn't find the first half stat line for DeVito, but here's what New York did in the first half against Tampa. 3 first downs, 0-4 on third down, 45 total yards, 10 net passing yards, and 0 points. But we got Drew Lock time.
Drew Lock time.
With Drew.
I was at the bar for the early games, and there's 7 different screens. We got a different game on each TV, and so of course that game was like in the far back, like no one really cared about it, but we were just following. And every time I looked over, Fox kept on showing up this stat. It was like plays and yards, and like the Bucs had ran 36 plays and had 279 yards, and the Giants had 11 plays for like 19 yards of offense. It was
shout out the Bucs. I like the Bucs. They're good. I think they.
Are you guys on a side here though? I mean, are you liking the Cowboys or the Giants? I'm already in on the Giants, and I have, by the way, again, the 50% Thanksgiving boost. I rode with Detroit laying the points and Giants getting the points.
Okay. I'm with, if Lock plays for sure, I'm on the Giants plus the 3.5.
You have to be on the side.
Yeah,
you have to be on the side. It's Thanksgiving. But that's the side that I think you got to be on.
So we're right up against it here. Patty, quickly give me your thoughts on the Dolphins and Packers. Huss and Jake can get into that game tomorrow more just because it'll be on later. And we had to get to the Bears and Lions because it'll already be underway when we get to Lock Shop tomorrow. But Patty, give me Dolphins, Packers. What are you thinking?
This one, I was shocked that it was only 3 points. I get it. The Dolphins have played really well, and you don't really know which, Jordan Love you're getting. I know you don't know which Packers you're getting, but like this is in Lambeau in late November, and
weather's going to be a factor.
Weather is going to absolutely be a factor. I get it. Hungry dogs run faster. Like this is the Dolphins season essentially, but I don't know the fact that it's only 3 points. Maybe Jake can talk about it with you tomorrow about it being a fishy line. I thought this was going to be more than a field goal. So I'm going to take the Packers. I'll take the, no pun intended, the cheese here with the Packers because I think they're the better team. And the fact that Tua just can't play outdoor. Like, let's not forget, remember Mike McCarthy wore that stupid, or not Mike McCarthy, McDaniels wore that stupid I wish it was colder t-shirt.
Yeah.
And then they got absolutely waxed. You remember that? You guys remember that?
I still can't believe they even agreed to leave the hotel and get on the bus that day.
Let's not forget that. So remember what happened there. Man, let's remember what happened there.
Patty, quickly on the Thanksgiving Day booster again. We laid it out yesterday, but just give us the details before we wrap here.
Yeah, of course. So pick 3 legs of parlay. Can be props as well. It doesn't have to be a side. And so you pick your 3 eligible bets. Has to be pre-match. Can't be a live bet. But you pick 3. You can use that 50% profit boost, and it'll apply to it. So take 1 from each game. It also actually does. I tested it today. It also works for a bet builder if you have 3 legs as well. So say if you forget, you're working, you missed the first 2 games. First off, shame on you for that. But if you miss the first 2 games and the primetime game rolls around, you can still use it on a bet builder as well. So basically, whatever you bet, whatever your winnings could be, 50% of that you'll earn on top of it as well.
Hey, you know what? You can actually do it with 2 gamers. I'm in, like I made my bet last night, taking Giants plus 3.5, Lions minus 10. The odds on it were plus 269. And I mean, this is the best boost we've ever had. I put 50 down on it, which would have normally paid 184.64. And then the boost was another 67.32.
There you go. Yeah,
that's right. You'll see it. It's clear. I mean, it's just basically apply to the bet.
Pop straight up.
You got to do it once. And it is up there. So get your bets in for Lions and Bears. And Jake and I will get you ready for Packers, Dolphins tomorrow. And hopefully hit some of those NHL lines on the off day. And by the way, the partner parlay is up. Dusty, plus 825.
Biggest parlay of the year. Biggest NHL parlay of the year. Right
wow.
There.
I like it. I'm riding.
Let's go, Jim Montgomery. Get
quickly,
it done.
I know we got to go, but quickly in the hot events tab, you don't even have to go digging for it, fellas. 4 Nations face-off futures, odds for guys to make each roster. It's not just Canada. We've got for all 4 teams. So take a look there. Tomorrow, though, we'll have futures for the NHL. Huss, Jake, you guys can fully dive into that one.
Yeah, 18 guys within 4 goals of each other for the Rockets. So I cannot wait to see what they're kicking out for us.
Good luck with those odds, Ev-Dog. All right, that's going to do it for Lock Shop today. Winnipeg Sports Talk starting right away with Huss over on the WST channel. For P. Greggy and Huss, I'm Nielsen. We're at Capilano Boston Pizza. Tommy Gazzola is here. Stick around. Oil Stream's coming up.